The ravishing legacy of WWE legend Rick Rude and the cause of death. Richard Erwin Rood, better known by his electrifying ring name Ravishing Rick Rude, was one of the most charismatic and controversial figures to ever step into the wrestling ring. Born on December 7, 1958, in St. Peter, Minnesota, Rood would rise to stardom in professional wrestling, becoming synonymous with flamboyance, athletic prowess, and unforgettable mic skills. From his debut in 1982 to his retirement in 1994, and even after his death, Rood's impact on the sport continues to be felt. He left behind a legacy that made him one of the most revered and unforgettable heels in wrestling history. Before we continue, hit that subscription button as we delve deeper.s. Early life and entry into wrestling. Growing up, Richard Rood was a natural athlete, excelling in both amateur wrestling and bodybuilding. His impressive physique and relentless drive set him apart, but it was his personality that made him a star. Before entering the world of professional wrestling, Rood worked as a bouncer and bodybuilder, making a name for himself in the local circuits. His transition to the wrestling ring was inevitable, as his powerful build and imposing presence made him the perfect fit for the larger-than-life world of pro wrestling. Rood began his wrestling career in 1982, quickly adopting the persona of Rick Rude. From the beginning, it was clear that Rood was more than just another muscle-bound performer. He was a showman. With his signature arrogant smirk, self-assured swagger, and undeniable sex appeal, Rood captivated audiences wherever he went. The birth of Ravishing Rick Rude. Rood's transformation into Ravishing Rick Rude solidified his place as a wrestling icon. His gimmick was that of a self-obsessed, egotistical ladies' man who loved to taunt the men in the crowd and charm their wives and girlfriends. His pre-match routine became the stuff of legend. Rood would demand the audience's silence as he delivered his trademark line, asking the fat, out-of-shape, inner-city sweat hogs to keep quiet while he disrobed and flexed his sculpted physique for the ladies. It was this combination of physicality and bravado that made Rood one of the most hated heels in wrestling. Fans despised him, but they couldn't look away. Whether he was blowing kisses to the women in the audience or flexing his muscles in front of the camera, Rood knew exactly how to work the crowd. His ability to draw heat was unmatched, and he reveled in the boos that rained down on him night after night. Wrestling career, championships, and rivalries. Rood's in-ring talent matched his larger-than-life persona. He was not just a character. He was a skilled performer who could wrestle with the best of them. Throughout his career, Rood competed in some of the biggest promotions in professional wrestling, including World Championship Wrestling, WCW, World Wrestling Federation, WWF, and Extreme Championship Wrestling, ECW. During his prime, Rood captured multiple championships, cementing his legacy as one of the top wrestlers of his era. He became a four-time world champion, with 3 reigns as the WCW International World Heavyweight Champion and 1 reign as the WCWA World Heavyweight Champion. In the WWF, he claimed the prestigious Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, a title that has historically been held by some of the greatest technical wrestlers in the business. Rood also captured the WCW United States Heavyweight Championship, further solidifying his status as a top-tier talent. Rood's feuds with some of the biggest names in wrestling were legendary. His rivalry with the Ultimate Warrior in the late 1980s and early 1990s was particularly intense, and their matches were some of the most memorable of that era. Rood was one of the few wrestlers who could match the Warrior's intensity and physicality, and their battles over the Intercontinental Championship remain iconic to this day. Another notable rivalry was with Jake, the Snake, Roberts. This feud was built around Rood's penchant for antagonizing Roberts by pursuing his wife, Cheryl, as part of his arrogant persona. The rivalry became personal, adding an extra layer of intensity to their matches. Rood's ability to weave real-life elements into his character work made his feuds feel more authentic and engaging, keeping fans emotionally invested. SummerSlam 1990, the main event moment. One of Rood's crowning achievements was his participation in the main event of SummerSlam 1990, where he challenged the WWF World Heavyweight Champion, the Ultimate Warrior, inside a steel cage. This match was the culmination of their long-standing rivalry and showcased Rood's ability to hang with the best in the business. While Rood came up short in this particular match, his performance solidified his place in wrestling history as a legitimate main event star. The injury and retirement. In 1994, tragedy struck Rood's career. During a match in Japan, Rood suffered a severe back injury that forced him to retire from in-ring competition. The injury was devastating for Rood, who was still at the peak of his powers. Despite his forced retirement, Rood remained a prominent figure in the wrestling world. He transitioned into a managerial role, using his charisma and knowledge of the business to guide younger talent. The infamous double appearance. In late 1997, during the height of the Monday Night Wars between WWF and WCW, Rood made wrestling history in a way that no one had before. On November 17, 1997, Rood became the only wrestler to appear on both WWF's Raw and WCW's Monday Nitro on the same night. This unprecedented event occurred because Raw was pre-recorded, and Rood had jumped ship to WCW, appearing live on Nitro. This bold move by Rood highlighted the fierce competition between the two promotions and solidified his reputation as a trailblazer who was unafraid to shake things up. It was a move that added yet another layer to his already legendary career. D-Generation X, a founding member. Rood's role in the formation of the rebellious and wildly popular faction D-Generation X, DX, is another key aspect of his legacy. Alongside Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Chyna, Rood helped form one of the most iconic stables in wrestling history. DX would go on to revolutionize the industry with their brash, anti-authority attitude and edgy antics. And while Rood's time with the group was brief, his involvement in its early days was significant. Tragic death and legacy. Rick Rude's life was tragically cut short on April 20, 1999, when he was found unconscious by his wife and later pronounced dead at the age of 40. His sudden death was attributed to heart failure, and an autopsy revealed that he had died from an overdose of mixed medications, including gamma-hydroxybutyrate, GHB, a drug commonly used for narcolepsy prevention. At the time of his death, Rood had been training for a potential return to the ring, a testament to his enduring passion for the sport. Although his life ended too soon, Rood's legacy continues to resonate with wrestling fans and performers alike. In 2017, he was posthumously inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, an honor that recognized his contributions to the industry and his enduring influence. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe to this channel for more exciting content.